What's up, everyone? Welcome back to day 2, episode 3 of the
Mac being
Spotlight.
an asshole.
And everybody, welcome to the first and last hit show on the Block 105 radio and SoCal radio.
So everybody, Mac, hold on. I'm going to have to apologize to everybody for Mac being a complete dick for the second night in a row, as he has completely butchered this intro for a second night in a row. Good morning, good evening, good night, konnichiwa, hola, como estas, all that other good bullshit. How's everybody doing tonight? All right, go ahead, Mac. Never mind, he muted his mic. Welcome, everybody, to the first and last hit show. I am your host, AJ Wichita. Over there to my side is Mac Daddy Dubs, and down below is the returning Pepto Bismol, Emma Maltinani. Emma Cheese Maltinani sandwich.
Okay. I'll take it.
So, tonight's episode is it's going to be a crazy one.
About Gypsy, who's on a rose. And her last name is Blanchard.
And she has the same name as a professional wrestler.
I did not know that. Then again, I am dealing with a massive migraine. And listen, I said this last night. I feel the need to say it again. I do not have a hangover. I am recovering from eye surgery. I am not crying. I had to moisturize my eyes. I had to make my eyes moist. For all of those who don't like the word moist, I had to moist my eyes. So, yeah. My eyes just hurt, dude.
I can bet. So, all right, so tonight's topic. Let's get into it.
Before we do, what do we have for announcements? Or do you want to do that later?
We can do that during commercial or after commercial.
Let's jump into tonight's episode.
So tonight's episode is about the one and only Gypsy Rose.
She was a gypsy, and her name was Rose Blanchard. Check that out, everybody.
And her mama was actually a rose petal. Go figure.
I know. Who knew, right? Who knew that roses could have children from a gypsy family?
So, Emma, if you would like to go ahead and start off with the story.
30 pages.
The narration.
I will gladly narrate for you.
Jesus Christ. What is that, a booklet?
No, it's just 3 pages of notes so I can make sure we hit all the important details.
Andy said you had like
yes. Okay, this is page 1.
This big.
This is page 2.
Yep.
And page 3.
Yep. Now listen, she's only pulling out the 3 most important pages of her mountainous book like this high. You go if we were to view her closet right now, it is stacked packed full of Gypsy Rose bullshit.
I could have made it longer, but I wanted to just get the key details.
Mm-hmm.
Are we ready to start?
Yes, anytime, please.
Okay, let's introduce the case. Gypsy Rose Blanchard, born in 1991, is an American woman convicted of second-degree murder in Springfield, Missouri, for the death of her mother, Dee Dee Blanchard. She was sentenced to 10 years in prison, but paroled after 8 years at the end of December 2023.
Dear God, I just realized something. She has the same date. She has the same birthday as my grandma.
Wow.
Is there relation?
Maybe.
God, I hope not.
Mac, let me ask you something. Is this the same grandma that confused you for Walker, Texas Ranger?
That was my great aunt, and no, they're all in the swimming pool above us. Yeah. Anywho, back to the case.
I'm gonna go back to your.
You want me to continue to my
You are
essay?
narrating for the next 3 hours.
We can fit this into an hour. Easy peasy.
Mhm.
But let's talk about mental illness for a second. So Dee Dee had a mental illness, and I've never heard of this mental illness until I came across this case and started researching it. It's called Munchausen syndrome by proxy, also known as MSP. And for those that don't know what that is, it's a psychological disorder in which the caregiver of a child fabricates or induces symptoms in a child to gain attention or sympathy. MSP is a form of child abuse and a mental illness. It affects a primary caregiver, often a mother.
Interesting.
Yes. So some things that Dee Dee put Gypsy through, and this is just some, there's a lot that I probably missed, but these are just like the big ones. Two of the major illnesses everyone thought Gypsy had, even Gypsy thought she had these, but they were fake, was leukemia and muscular dystrophy.
Well, right here. Yep, in my notes, I got her mother first began asserting that Gypsy Rose had an array of different health issues from infancy, and her mother also had told that she had whatever you just said, because
muscular dystrophy.
Yeah,
which
and needed
made her,
a walker.
Made her use a wheelchair. I mean, I think at first she might have used a walker or something, but it turned into her being like a full-on wheelchair, was not allowed to get up.
Also, she was involved in a motorcycle accident at I think it was like the age of 8 years old.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was pretty young.
But was that on purpose or was that an accident?
It was. She was involved in an accident, a minor motorcycle accident, with her grandfather, in which she obtained a minor knee abrasion. After this, Dee Dee had told her that she needed a wheelchair, which was BS.
Who knew that a knee scrape caused for a wheelchair? That's interesting.
Yeah, but along with all these what's the word for it? Illnesses that Dee Dee made Gypsy pretend she had, or she thought she had them. She had surgery and procedure after procedure after procedure. Some, such as she had her salivatory glands removed. She had extraction of most of her front teeth. She had ear tube implants, and let's not forget she was given a feeding tube and instructed to always be in a wheelchair.
Yeah, I mean, it says Dee Dee used physical abuse to control her daughter, always holding her hand in the presence of others. When Gypsy Rose said something that suggested she was not genuinely sick or seemed beyond her mental capacity, she recalls that her mother would squeeze her hand very tightly when the two were alone. Dee Dee struck her with her open hands or a freaking coat hanger.
She always, there would be times that they'd be at the doctor's office and something would be said that Dee Dee was scared that she would get figured out. So she would as an abuser would do, kind of like she always had her hands on her to like take control of the situation, which is a telltale sign of abuse.
But here's the thing, though, and I'm not sticking up for Dee Dee or anything like that, but she had a disorder. So would things have been different if she did not have the disorder?
We can hope.
You know, and at the same time, was Gypsy, and everybody's unbiased decision here, was Gypsy justified in killing her mother?
I think so. Murder is wrong.
Unbiased.
Unbiased. Yeah, I don't. It's not like I know Gypsy or something. Unbiased. I do not think murder is right. I think murder is wrong in any case, in majority of cases. But in some sense, I think her sentence was correct. I don't think she should have served life in prison, which I'm glad she didn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that I think in some certain stance it is okay to defend yourself or do something about the situation. Do I think what she did was right? No, I think all murder is wrong, even if it is for justice. But
I mean, here's the thing, though. Hold on now. Is it though? Is it?
I mean, okay, like let's
if it's
just
for
say
justice,
let's just say you're a gun. Let's just say you're a gun owner, right?
Right.
Let's just say you're a gun owner, and let's just say you're out and about, right? You're in your car. Somebody runs up on you with a weapon. You pull your gun out and you shoot them.
Right.
Your intent when you shoot them is not to kill them, it's to paralyze them, which you're supposed to be, people who get like their gun permits and stuff like that, you're supposed to be trained before you get your permit. You go through the course, right? And you get your gun, and your purpose is not to wanting to kill somebody, it is having it to defend yourself.
Well, yeah, and that's what it's self defense, and everybody's gonna hear later on the word for our sponsors about that same thing. It's self defense. I mean, go ahead, Mac.
No, I'm saying I think if you put it like this, if you put it like, okay, like in the heat of the moment, if this person is going to kill me or is trying to kill me and I kill them in self-defense, then okay, yes, I am okay with that. I mean, like I said, I'm not for the killing or for like people murdering each other, because this is a crazy ass world we live in, and we already know that. But I think that if it was okay, so here I'll just say this: it's either killed or be killed, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm okay with it then.
Well, yeah. I mean, if somebody breaks into my house, I'm going to defend myself and my family and do what is necessary. Now, am I saying that is right? It's justified. There's a difference between it being justified versus it being I mean, even if you do it in self-defense and you are justified, you're still going to feel a certain way, because you are taking a life. However, at the same time, and that's the thing, people, I don't feel that have never done it before, they don't understand the toll, I guess, that it takes, because it could be in self-defense, but you're still going to beat yourself up over it. I've seen it in others. Look at war vets. They go out to war to protect our country. And these soldiers, they come home with PTSD. They come home with mental disabilities and trauma. They hear a lot. They hear, I'm sorry, a firework go off, and they freak the fuck. I mean, they completely lose their shit. They jump under the bed, or they take cover. You know, it's a very traumatizing thing.
Yeah.
I mean, at the same time, it's, I don't know. I mean, if did Gypsy serve her time? Yes, she did. However, at the same time, Dee Dee, if she wanted a freaking pet, go out and get a dog. Don't tie your daughter up to a leash and prance her around like she's a dog. She don't have fur.
No.
She doesn't have a tail.
No. And you know something? It seemed like they got like a lot of help from like different organizations because after Hurricane Katrina destroyed their Louisiana home, Dee Dee and Gypsy Rose lived in a rented home in Aurora, which is in southwestern Missouri. During their time there, Gypsy Rose was honored by the Oli Foundation, which advocates for rights of feeding tube recipients as its 2007 Child of the Year, which was Gypsy Rose. That's crazy. In 2008,
it was all fabricated by Dee Dee, and now everybody's going to look at Gypsy for all of this, as the bad person. And I remember reading on it, they thought Gypsy was in on it and collecting all this money and stuff like that. I'm so sorry we have not let you talk. You're supposed to be narrating. You're supposed to be the expert.
I know, but I'm not one to talk over people. So if you're talking, I'm just going to keep my mouth shut.
Go for it. You got. Let's see. You got the next. What is it? Almost 40 minutes to just run away with it. Because we know that you've been very excited about this. I don't want to take this away from you.
No, you're good. You're good. This is like a case that like I like true crime a lot, but I'm not like a big into true crime that's like from like 40, 50 years ago. I like to know like the true crime that happened like yesterday type of stuff. So this was so recent that it's like very interesting. But one thing that you were saying was people did like put a lot of blame on Gypsy. Like after she got arrested and stuff, people like watching her case on TV was like the first time people saw her walk out of the courtroom, and everybody was like at awe, like they were lied to, and they put that blame on Gypsy. Like people wouldn't go visit her in prison or even have a phone call with her when Gypsy would request it and stuff, because they were like putting so much blame on Gypsy.
And the thing that got me the most was I saw a video on YouTube where Gypsy Rose was walking down the street, and somebody asked her, "Did you really do it?" And she was like, "Yeah, I did it." But I'm like, well, that's kind of crazy because you wouldn't catch me saying, "Yeah, I murdered this mother blubber." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, she's very good at taking like, what's the word? Taking, not blame, but it's like
responsibility.
She takes responsibility. Like she knows what she did, and she knows what she did was wrong. But she also says a lot of the time where she's like, yes, she was involved, but she didn't commit the act. You know what I mean?
Didn't she have her boyfriend or something?
Yes, and we'll get to that. That's later down. That's on like page 2 of my notes.
I'm so sorry, Emma. I forgot. We got to go in alphabetical whatever that word is.
Chronological order.
Thank you.
Should I go to my next bullet point?
Whatever you want.
Okay, so this next bullet point is kind of just fun. Not really fun. This whole case isn't fun, but it's like interesting. Okay, so Gypsy's age was always in question because Dee Dee wanted her to always be under 18 so she could take control. Because once Gypsy's over 18, she can take control of her own life. So here, I'm going to just read what I have here. Okay, at least one time that I could find, Dee Dee had foraged. Is that the right word? Foraged, I think. Foraged a copy of Gypsy's birth certificate. Forged a copy of.
Apparently,
Gypsy's
it's like
birth
porridge. We're
certificate.
foraging things now.
I'm sorry, spelling and reading isn't my
don't you
strong
forward
suit.
me a copy of what you're reading? Forward me a copy.
Okay. But for that word that you just said,
forged
a copy
of Empire
of Gypsy's birth certificate, changing her birth date to 1995. Let's remember she was born in 1991. So she could claim that she was still a teenager. Gypsy said in a later interview that for 14 years, she was unsure of her real age. Dee Dee did keep another copy of Gypsy's true birth date. Gypsy recalled seeing it during one of their hospital visits and became confused. Dee Dee told her it was a misprint. I could never imagine that, not knowing my real age. Because she said like there was also times because that whole hurricane. So Dee Dee would use the hurricane as a lot of excuses of like, oh, well, it got destroyed in the flood, so she had to get a new one, so it got misprinted and all that kind of stuff, which is interesting. So that's when Gypsy started really getting confused and kind of piecing things together. As Gypsy got older...
real quick, I'll be honest with you.
Yes.
I mean, if my parents were to forge my birth certificate to make it sound like I was older, and I actually believed I was older, then find out that I was actually younger. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I think I'd be pretty excited to realize that I was actually a lot younger than what I was. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. But the fact that they made it, her mom made it seem like she was younger. I'll be honest, I'd be kind of pissed off too.
Mm-hmm. I mean, who would it be? I mean, I'd be mad at. I mean, Gypsy's probably furious at this whole situation. Like, what the heck? Her mother lied to her whole life.
Yeah, her mom made her do things that wasn't really necessary to do. I mean, she made her still. She made her.
Like, what do you mean she made her still? Like, she wouldn't move? Like.
No, bro. Like, she made her still.
Oh. I'm sorry. I'm just being an asshole tonight. I love you, bro.
It's like I'm like, what the freak, bro? But no, it's like she made her still. She made her still stuff. But then also, I read where her mom actually
she made Gypsy still like a statue. Okay, last time. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, dude.
I'm gonna make those sunglasses permanently still.
All right, I'm gonna go on.
Okay. Well, with the whole birth certificate situation, this is when Gypsy started really getting confused. As Gypsy got older, she began to notice that things weren't always adding up. For instance, how she could walk just fine because she would get up in the middle of the night and she would like sneak out of her chair and walk around the house when Dee Dee wasn't aware. If she did that in front of Dee Dee, she would have got severely, severely punished. Gypsy even snuck out and ran away a couple of times, and her mother would always severely punish her because she's ran away a couple times because of all the confusion and stuff like that. Any thoughts, questions, or concerns before we move into another very significant part of the story?
Anybody listening, watching, drop your comments below. We will try and answer them to the best of our knowledge and ability. All right, everyone.
All right.
On to
So
the
now
next.
this is when Nick comes into the picture. Also, his last name is Godejohn. So if I refer to Godejohn, I'm referring to Nick. But there's certain times where I'll quote something that I read, and they refer to him as his last name.
You know what I thought his name was? I thought his first name was Nick. I thought his middle name was Good, and his last name was John. So I was like, yo, this guy has got a freaking cool name. His name is Nick Goodjohn. I'm like,
no, Godejohn. That's his last name. So just
Yeah.
remember that for future reference. If I refer
Yeah.
to Godejohn, I'm referring to Nick. Okay. So this is when Nick comes into the picture. Gypsy had a secret laptop and phone, which she used to meet Nick on a Christian singles website. Nick had a criminal record for indecent exposure and a history of mental illness, sometimes reported as multiple personality disorder, and he was also on the autism spectrum. Okay, we're done with page 1.
whoa, that was quick.
Page 2. Okay, now, so they've talked for quite some time online, and now they really want to meet up for the first time, but obviously they can't because Dee Dee will not allow that because Gypsy's not allowed to date. She's pretty much not even allowed to have friends. So it's been about a year since they started talking online, and Gypsy arranged and paid for Nick to travel to Springfield. He lives in Wisconsin, and she's in Missouri. She planned to pretend to meet Nick for the first time at a movie theater with her mother. After this meetup is when they started to develop the idea to kill Dee Dee. So they talked for quite some time, and it was Nick's idea originally. Like, he would say, like, because Gypsy would confide in him because she's obviously picking up on some things that something's off, something's not right, and she felt abused, and she was abused. So Nick would always say stuff like, I would kill for you, I will kill your mother for you, I will take you away and we will be together forever, we'll run away, we'll get rid of her and just be together forever and start a family and all that. All right, now any questions, comments, or concerns before we get on to the real,
On
the climax?
Ooh.
I said it looks good. See you later. Wait.
Nope. All right, on to the good stuff.
Okay, now this, I am going to read word for word from the internet so that I don't miss anything because it's the story right here.
All right, how about this? Before we do that, we will go into commercial real quick,
Sounds great.
and then we'll do sponsors, and then so there'll be no more interruptions.
Gotcha.
Take a quick break. We'll be right back. Quick commercial. Go grab a drink, snack, whatever. Look this up and get back to us. But we'll be right back. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am the host, Mac Dubs. There went AJ. I don't know what happened. And welcome back to the First and Last Hit Show on the Block 105 Radio. and on SoCal Radio. We are on episode 3 of the Spotlight talking about the Gypsy Rose BS.
What about our word from our sponsors?
We are getting to that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Now, a word from our sponsors. If you're looking for a book to read, please check out the author site and check out his new book, The Almighty Voyage. If you don't want to listen to it, please put on.
If you don't want to, dude, this is why I'm supposed to take over this part, because you butcher it every damn time. If you don't want to read it, you just listen to it. Now, if you don't want to listen to it, you can read it. Don't take Max's advice, because he'll tell you to drop a chat and a comment. If you don't want to read it, you can listen to it. You put these little things in your ears, right here and right over here, and you listen to it. You get a narrator, you get background music, literally all the good perks that you don't get by reading it. Less strain on your eyes. You don't have to read it. You don't have to do nothing. Just lay there and listen to it. And somebody gets to do the work for you. And if you get too pissed off at that, take your ass over and get yourself some self-defense. Mac, you want to tell us a little bit about self-defense?
Yeah, self-defense with Peter Hodgman. He's a good friend of ours. I've known him for a couple of years now. He's a great self-defense instructor. You can check him out on YouTube. Just look up Peter Hodgman.
This man is so good. So good. The only man I know that can teach you self-defense from all ages. He teaches from inside the womb to all the way into the casket. The only thing we ask is that we ask that you use self-defense for that purpose. Self-defense.
And
only.
don't beat up the nurses in the hospital, please.
Yes, for the love of God, it is for self-defense only. We don't ask you to take your newly found karate lessons and beat your nurses, your caregivers, for just doing their jobs. It is for self-defense only.
Mm-hmm. Now, if you're looking for a good motivational speaker, or if you're wanting to become a motivational speaker, please go check out the cowboy Robert Wilson.
Yeah.
He is one of the best. He can turn any word that you say into something you'll believe in the next 30 seconds. He's got classes starting at $3.99 and the advanced classes at $9.99. He's got those going on.
I mean, go check out our episodes with him on there. One of those episodes, I believe, Mac, are over 6,000 views. Yep. Always a deep discussion when we have him on the show. It's always a great time, and he will get you to be a motivational master if you go check him out. And he's also got books, Mac, don't he? He's got a couple ebooks out, so give them a read as well.
Yep. Guys, if you're looking for merchandise, show merchandise, the first and last hit show merchandise, please hit us up an email. We will get you a catalog out so you can go take a look. Please go check out our website at the first and last hit show at tubespace.io. And
we got everything, cups, mugs, everything, not just apparel, but we got literally everything at a very decent price. So hit us up. And we got a contest also, Mac.
Yes, so we do have that contest going on we started June the 4th all the way to July the 5th. You will get an autograph of some sort.
Yeah.
And
whether it's from myself, from Mac, over on Off the Bench, we produce. We got Landon, who's also willing to autograph something for you guys too. Or you can. It's winner's choice. All you got to do, drop your name in the chat, email us, hit us up, messenger, however you get a chance to contact us, come contact us. Let us know, and your name will be entered into a wheel that we will spin. And if it lands on you, you will be the lucky winner and have that prize. So please drop your name in the chat It is there's no qualifications other than just hitting us up and letting us know you're interested. You can be whether you've been on the show before, whether you've followed the show, you never even heard of us. It does not matter. We don't care. We just want all of you guys' participation. So come check us out and have a good time.
Next week, next Friday, and next Friday we will be live, and then Saturday will be a rerun all the way up until the following Saturday. Why? AJ, please tell them why.
Yes. So June 22nd, we have a very, very special guest.
First of all, you're missing the first part. We will be on vacation the week of the 17th to the 21st.
Yes, so vacation. We're looking forward to that. I apologize, Matt. Got really excited. Vacation. It is a very much needed vacation. I'm excited for that. I will be leaving this Friday actually, and spending 2 days in Philly, and then I'm going over to Jersey. Emma, we will tend to you in a minute. Emma will be over there too in Philly. That's great and all. Emma, keep your mouth shut during promotions. Hold on a minute. Also, we are going to heavily promote our June 22nd episode where we have a very special guest, film director Steve Yank. He he runs the Yank My Chain Productions. So please tune into that episode. He has a new movie coming out. Can't wait. I'm excited for that episode. Please go check him out. Mac, anything else?
I think that's it for sponsoring stuff.
Did
Now,
you hit Ball Club?
Everyone knows about Ball Club. We'll get that on. We'll get that on the 9 o'clock episode. So,
right.
Emma, what's up? You raised your hand.
Okay, thank you.
This isn't class, but you're
I
welcome.
had a question.
Okay,
So-
what's the question?
Are you going to be out of town on the 22nd?
No,
What?
we will be here on the 22nd. June 22nd we'll be back home.
You'll be back? Okay. Just because I got like my work schedule and stuff, I just got to make sure you're here because that's a Saturday.
Emma, you are fine. I wouldn't have booked Steve for June 22nd if I wasn't going to be home.
Okay, well, just clarifying to make sure.
Emma, shh, you're ruining things now. Now that we have heard from our sponsors, back to the show, and I apologize for Emma's rude and ungodly behavior.
It was a serious question.
So yes, back to our show.
Okay.
Emma, take it away.
Ready for the big climax of the whole thing?
Sure.
All right. So I'm going to read this little blurb word for word so that I do not miss any important details, okay? So we'll get right into this. And like I said, Nick's last name is Godajon. In this, I'm going to be referring to him by his last name. Godajon returns to Springfield on June 10th, 2015, arriving while Gypsy Rose and her mother were away at a doctor's appointment. After they had returned home and Dee Dee had gone to sleep, he went to the Blanchard home. Gypsy Rose let him in and allegedly gave him duct tape, gloves, and a knife with the understanding that he would use it to murder Dee Dee. She hid in the bathroom and covered her ears so that she would not have to hear her mother screaming. Godajon then stabbed Dee Dee 17 times in the back while she was asleep. Afterwards, they stole more than $4,400 in cash that Dee Dee had been keeping in the house, mostly from child support checks. They fled to the motel outside Springfield, where they stayed a few days while planning their next move. During that time, they were seen on security cameras at several stores. Gypsy Rose said that point, she believed the two had gotten away with their crime. They mailed the murder weapon back to Godejohn's home in Wisconsin to avoid being caught with it, then took a bus there. Several witnesses who saw the pair on their way to the Greyhound station noted that Gypsy wore a blonde wig and walked unassisted. Thoughts, impressions, information.
So Nick Goodjohn, good as his middle name, the goodness of Nick Goodjohn. Gotta
cheese, whatever you want to call him.
get a John. Gotta get a John. There you go. That's his nickname. Gotta get a John.
Gotta get a Papa John.
He was basically the one who basically asserted to, hey, let's kill your mama.
Mm-hmm. It was his idea. He did the act. He took Gypsy.
And yeah, didn't they get married or something?
We'll get to it.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry, Massa.
I mean, no, but don't jump ahead.
I'm so sorry, Massa. I stepped out of line. Please don't hurt me.
I'm sorry, Steve.
Okay. Do you want me to move on to the arrest?
Yes.
Okay. The arrest. Gypsy began to feel like the authorities would never find the body. She felt guilty. So she decided to make... So Gypsy and her mom shared like a Facebook page. So instead of just having Dee Dee Blanchard, it was Dee Dee and Gypsy Blanchard for their Facebook that they shared. But Gypsy really never got to use it. It was just like that. So she decided to make a Facebook post on Dee Dee's page to help the investigation so that they could find the body, because her whole thought process was that she wanted them to find the body so that she could just go home. She wanted to go home. So she couldn't go home when there was somebody murdered in the back bedroom.
Well, first of all, she could have. But she just didn't want to. That was her choice.
Yeah, I guess technically. She wanted to write something on the Facebook page that would be similar to what a murderer might say. And eventually they decided to say, so what the Facebook post said was that bleep is dead. Like just laying it out on the line just like that.
Wow. Way to put your stuff out there. I mean,
yeah.
God.
So very soon after that post was made, a lot of the Blanchards' friends ended up stopping by to check in, because that is such a weird post to put on Facebook. So with no answer at the door and seeing that their car was still in the driveway, because every so often they would go to doctor's appointments or the emergency room or yada, 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 and not tell anybody. But it was very odd that first there was this post and then their car is still in the driveway. So they had to have been home, but no answer at the door. So they decided to call 911. Police entered the house and found Dee Dee's body. Neighbors were concerned about how Gypsy would do without her wheelchair, medication, and support equipment, such as oxygen tanks and feeding tubes. Because at this point, what?
That she didn't really need.
She didn't need them, but nobody knows that.
Right.
They think at this point that maybe either Gypsy was murdered and they just don't know where she is, or maybe Gypsy was kidnapped, because they still fully believe that she had all these health issues. They thought there was an innocent murder that happened when there was so much more to the story.
How is the murder innocent? An innocent murder?
Well,
explain this.
Like they thought an innocent person just was murdered. You know what I mean?
No, not really. You have to explain what innocent murder means.
No, murder isn't innocent, but they thought that a person who was innocent was murdered, which wasn't innocent. Does that make sense?
No,
Yes.
because, no, because Dee Dee didn't kill anybody.
No,
Right?
Dee Dee didn't kill anybody. They thought Dee Dee was an innocent person that was murdered.
Right. So how was she guilty?
She was guilty because of all the crap she did to Gypsy.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So all of a sudden now that just determines that she deserves the death penalty by murder.
No, Andy, you're being much.
I'm not being much. I am asking the tough questions that our viewers need to they need to know. They need the answer to.
Okay, murder's not innocent. They just thought.
But that's what you said.
Okay, no, I didn't say murder was innocent.
She said.
I said people. Yeah, continue.
People thought Dee Dee was an innocent person who was murdered.
Okay.
That's exactly what I said, but you get it from him and not me.
She's meaning that Dee Dee was a very good person and Gypsy was a very bad person who...
I see.
All right. Let's continue. So people at this point are concerned for Gypsy, thinking maybe she was kidnapped or maybe she was murdered and stuffed in the back shed or something. Who knows? But
whoa, hold on. Hold on, Emma, real quick. Did you just say that people thought that Emma was stuffed in some back shit?
No.
What did you say? Please repeat that.
Okay, so what is it that you thought I said?
I thought you said that people thought that Gypsy was stuffed in some back shit. And
when have you ever known me to swear?
Only on 2 occasions. And technically they weren't swear words, but go on.
Accidental words that weren't actually swear words. They just weren't nice words.
Go on.
Okay. People thought either maybe she was kidnapped or murdered and shoved in the back shed.
Oh, I don't know why somebody would be shoving Gypsy in some back shit. I tell you what, that'd be enough to piss me off. Somebody was shoving me in some shit.
All right, but anyways, so people were concerned, like if she was kidnapped or something, how is she gonna live when she doesn't have her medication, doesn't have her support equipment, doesn't have her oxygen tanks or her feeding tubes, stuff like that. Okay, so local friends and neighbors set up a GoFundMe account that would set up to pay for Dee Dee's funeral expenses and possibly Gypsy Rose's, because they had no clue if she was alive or dead at this point. When Gypsy first started dating Nick, Gypsy told the neighbor girl about the relationship. So when all of this unfolded, the neighbor told the police and they were able to track Nick down. The following day, police arrested Nick and Gypsy from Nick's home in Wisconsin. They surrendered and were taken into custody on charges of murder and felony armed criminal action. On the last page. Gypsy Rose pled guilty to second-degree murder and was sentenced to 10 years in prison. But let's not forget, she paroled after 8 years. And Goda John was found guilty on first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, and an additional 25 years for armed criminal action. So let's talk about that for a second. Do you think that the sentences were correct? Like Gypsy she had 10 years, and
I think they should have both. I think they both should have gotten the same sentence. Honestly,
you do.
Well, if she got out in 8 years, and it all depends on who actually pulled the trigger or stabbed
That was
her,
Nick.
or-
Nick suggested murdering Dee Dee. Nick murdered Dee Dee. It was all Nick's plan. Gypsy pretty much went along with it because she wanted
So
out.
she was basically the accomplice.
Pretty
Yeah.
much. And so,
Okay, well then that makes all right, then that makes a little bit of sense there.
well, yeah. So, but Mac, I got to tell you something. For you to say that they both deserve the same sentence, I just wanted to let you know this ain't cutting it for me, Mac. You know, I just wanted to.
I got something for you, bro.
Did you just kick him out?
You're a dick. I do the same thing.
You just kicked him out.
Yeah. I know what I did.
You know what we can do?
Rude.
Listen, Mac, you beat me to it. I was reaching to do the same thing.
Oh man.
Great
Anyways, well, after like hearing everything, I think Nick deserves what he gets. I do. I think I kind of think of. I think Gypsy has a little remorse of what happened.
Mm-hmm.
I think that she feels bad of what happened, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Whatever happened to Gypsy's dad? Like nobody ever heard from him or about him.
He wasn't a part of Gypsy's life most of her childhood because he feels like he could have fought harder, but at the end of the day, Dee Dee wouldn't let him have a relationship with her. But he fully admits that he should have tried harder. He didn't try hard enough.
I think if he would have tried harder, I think there would have been no type of situation like this. I think
very
she would have
possible.
gone and I think she would have gone and stayed with her dad, and her mom would have just been crazy all by herself.
Yeah. So for this whole time period, Gypsy and Dee Dee, they received like what's it called? Like
Achievement award or something.
no, like checks, like the dad gave the child support.
Yeah.
So, and I think it was probably a bit higher than typical because of all these illnesses.
Well, I read where Gypsy's mom, Dee Dee, went into Gypsy's room and stole I think it was like $4,400 out of Gypsy's room that she had or something like that, and used it for something. But also Gypsy's mom did some very kinky and dirty things in Gypsy's room one night, and Gypsy walked in on her.
Yeah, did you know about that?
I don't look into that kind of thing, so I probably vaguely heard of it, but not in detail.
Listen, you're like the hot scoop on the case. Like you know so much about the case. You were practically there when everything happened.
Yeah.
So like you were so well known about the case. Like you went and followed the whole case as it happened. I'm surprised you completely missed that. You were there. What did they do? You were there when Gypsy walked in. Tell us about it.
Okay. Keep it snappy. Keep going. I was not there, obviously. If I was there, I'd probably be arrested.
I don't know about that. Anyways, you want us to keep it snappy and keep it going, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Do you want...
What happened?
After prison, Blanchard was released on parole in December.
Listen, look, dude, Emma said to keep it going, and apparently she decided she wanted to go out the studio. Hold on, I let her back in.
Rude.
Listen,
we have to talk about her in prison.
Well, I know you said to keep it going, and then you decided to go off into the lobby, into the backstage area. That was rude. You shouldn't be doing that.
While in prison, she got engaged to a man named Ken Urker, who she met through a pen pal program. ended their relationship in July of 22. She married Louisiana teacher Ryan Anderson in a prison ceremony with no guests present. What a weirdo.
One thing she had, so in one interview after she got released from prison, she was asked, so how many men tried messaging you to date you? She said over 250 letters.
Yeah,
of men
because
trying to
they
date her.
wanted because they wanted the fame.
Well, yeah, they wanted the notoriety.
Absolutely. I mean, I can already tell from interviews I've watched, Ryan when they first got out of prison. I'm like, he wants the fame. It's so obvious.
I'll be right
Um,
back.
so it says here, after prison, Blanchard was released on parole in December 28, 2023, after serving 8 years of her 10-year sentence. She announced her ebook released over Conversations, The Eve of Freedom.
She kind of became like an instant influencer after she was released.
It says Blanchard began giving interviews to various news outlets, TV programs. In her first television interview on January 5th, she spoke to Good Morning America and CNN. Later that day, she appeared on an episode of The View, in which she discussed her release from prison and her plans going forward. Well, it says on March 10th, she deleted her Instagram and Twitter account.
Oh, wow. That was rude.
She had 7.8 million followers on Instagram.
Wow.
On March 14th, she announced in a now deleted TikTok that she planned to keep her account, but then deleted her TikTok. She has since reactivated it. On the 28th of March, Blanchard announced that she separated from Anderson in a statement posted to her private Facebook account, tamed by People magazine.
So she married the guy in prison, and then about 5 months after her release, they're getting a divorce. Who saw that coming? I know I did.
I mean, I saw it, and then here's the post.
Why did they get separated?
I don't know.
There's a lot to it. They
Yeah.
never really gave exact reasoning. They just said, I mean, I watched a live on TikTok Gypsy did a couple days ago, and people were asking her questions and stuff. And one thing was like, why'd you get a divorce? And she didn't really go into detail. She just said that sometimes things don't work out. That was her response.
So her last post, it doesn't say where on Facebook. Her last post on Facebook said, "People have been asking what is going on in my life. Unfortunately, my husband and I are going through a separation, and I moved in with his parents. Well, I moved in with my parents' home down in the bayou. I have the support of my family and friends to help guide me through this. I am learning to listen into my heart right now. I need time to let myself find who I am."
So she moved back to the house that she lived in with her mom?
No. Because her dad and her mom were always separated from like when she was like.
So she moved in with like
with
her dad and her stepmom or whatever.
She moved in with her dad and her stepmom, but I don't think she's been to that house that she lived in with her mom at all.
I think they tore that place down.
They might have. I'm not sure what they've done with it.
Investigation. Let's go.
I should figure that out. I'm curious what like.
Oh, there's a lot. There is what is this? Oh, exclusive interviews with I want to watch that. Exclusive interviews with Nick Gudajon. I need to see that now. I need to see what They asked him.
That could be something interesting, because you can also go online and you can find like the footage from Nick's interrogation and the footage from Gypsy's interrogation. It's all online.
How do you feel about the Teletubbies?
That is so off topic. Where'd that come from?
Yeah,
That's going to be our next on the spotlight investigation.
Interesting. Okay, before I get sidetracked.
It is very interesting. I'm just going to let you know. It's pretty crazy. Andrew looks like the drunk Terminator over there.
I'll be back.
Okay, before I get sidetracked, one last part I had. So let's not forget. So when Gypsy was in prison, she got engaged to a guy named Ken.
Yep.
And then they separated. And then a while later, she dated and married Ryan in prison. Yep. And then they got out of prison. 5 months later, they are separating. And pretty much immediately following their separation, she is now back with her ex-fiance, Ken, and they are currently together.
Oh my gosh.
Is that news to you, or did you know that?
I would have stayed with the teacher, honestly.
But yeah, literally, I think within it was either days or weeks, she was back with Ken.
I would have.
Oh, one thing that's happening right now in the social media life is she had a documentary. She has a documentary series that's coming out that was following her life right after prison. The first episode, it airs on Lifetime. First episode aired last Monday, and it's every Monday it comes out. So episode 2 will come out this Monday, and there's 8 episodes, and it shows all that. It shows even during shows her right out of prison. It's going to show their separation, and even Ken makes an appearance when they see each other for the first time after she's been out.
That's great. And you know what? I've been on you a lot lately, so I'm gonna be actually nice and tell you that if you decide to continue to behave yourself for the rest of the week, at the end of the week, I will, out of the goodness of my heart, I will separate my foot out of your behind.
Okay.
On that note, we are running out of time, so if we have to, we will do a part 2. Hold on a minute. Yes, sir. Thank you. I just had eye surgery on Tuesday. Yeah, and I am very excited about that because we smacked the Mavs around here quite a bit on the court and looking for 2-0. So thank you for throwing that in there. On that note, everybody, let's start wrapping up. If we have to, we will do a part 2. We will get Emma back in here, and hopefully she will have her hair dyed as she promised all of you good folks, because we can't be having this. It's unacceptable to be letting our kids down.
I want to die.